Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 20 career mode here in MotoGP, and here we are for the 15th round of the season at Aragon. So we're going to be fighting Marquez in his backyard today. It's going to be quite difficult, but first of course we need to advance to that point, so advance forward 1 week. But we've got one technical staff management notification then, so another data analyst applying. So really good on the electronics, which we're not really going to be doing much on. A bit better on the frame, a bit better on the aero, really bad on the engine. I know obviously we haven't really touched the engine, but to be honest I don't see that as worth it. I'm actually thinking about maybe hiring this person because they are the same on the frame, same on the aero, which the aero doesn't matter anyway. The electronics I am currently upgrading something, but after that not really. So it'd just be a boost to the engine, so perhaps I'll actually hire them soon because, again, they obviously do cost less. We have a look at the R&D as well, just see how many points we've got. We still haven't got enough. Oh, actually we have got enough points to do some more frame upgrades. Right, so I'm going to buy this upgrade then. I'm going to develop this upgrade. Who is actually on the staff here? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I know some of them... Oh, actually, it does say the areas here on the right-hand side. So any on the frame research, I'll take those. There's also one apparently on the electronics that's got like sort of sleeping next to it. So I think I've missed something else with this menu, where it tells you if the person's doing nothing, or if they're actually doing something. So we'll take him as well across. If we go back out, then this should still be 1 week. Yep. And I think if we take any more, that will make it 2 weeks. So this is now 9 weeks, that's 1 week. Obviously after this race then, the electronics will be done. But before we do head into Aragon, we'll have a look at the championship standings. So obviously another win then in Misano in the previous rounds, taking the championship lead down to 36 points now, which is still quite a big lead considering there's only 6 races to go. So we actually need to take 6 points out of him per race, and that will be enough for us to tie on points. And I think if I did that, I'd probably have more wins. So I'd probably win the championship, but I'm not actually too sure because Marquez has won a lot of races this season. So obviously I've got 4 wins now. Marquez has actually won 6 races, we've won 4. So yeah, if we were to outscore him by 6 points every race, we'd probably have to win a few races for that. So we probably would beat him in the championship on terms of wins, because we can still beat him on wins here. But 36 points, that is a bit of a task. I am sort of maybe starting to consider it as a possibility again now though. Obviously I had given up on trying to beat him, but the lead has come down quite substantially in the last few episodes. So if we can keep at that rate, then we should be able to actually catch him up and overtake him. In the Constructors in the last episode, we actually moved up to 2nd place. I don't think we're going to catch Honda up because to take 37 points out of the entire manufacturer, obviously, even if Mark had an off day, then another Honda rider would probably be up there scoring decent points, so it would be quite hard to take decent points off them. And in the Teams Championship, we're 3 points down on Petronas, so that is the target, 4th in the Teams Championship, to try and beat Petronas Yamaha. But then without any further ado, we'll head straight into Aragon, and I'll see you in Qualifying 1. So then here we are at Aragon for Qualifying 1. And I'll be honest, this is not a particularly favourite track of mine, so I might struggle a little bit here, but the bike is fantastic here. The AI, I don't know how good they are here. I don't think they're particularly great, but they're also not terrible. So it's definitely going to be a fight for the victory if there is any chance of me winning the race here. It has been made harder that Jack Miller and Danilo Petrucci are the 2 people that haven't got through into Qualifying 2, unfortunately. So we have to try and compete with those 2 Ducatis, and obviously, of course, we've also got Bagnaia. But here we are in the pits then. Of course, since the weekend is dry, we can just head out straight away to try and do some fast laps, so that is what I'm going to do. So coming up towards the line then to start our first lap. We've already gone over the line. I forgot that the finishing line is a lot further up the straight than the starting line. So into turn 1 then, we've gone very, very wide through there, but it's not actually too bad, to be honest. Someone's coming out the pits, I think it's Bagnaia, yes it is, and he's actually come right in my way, although that's not really his fault, considering that the racing line just sort of brings you over into the pit lane exit, not the other way around. So I suppose in Bagnaia's defence, he didn't particularly do anything. But this has been an atrocious lap so far. I've been running wide everywhere. Obviously, we had the thing with him. We're 6/10 off in the first sector. It's definitely going to take... And he's coming up the inside now. He's trying to re-overtake us. We've actually gone off the circuit now. This has been an absolutely horrible lap. Bagnaia overtaking us. I've then gone wide, trying to go around the outside of him. So I think this lap's probably going to be scrapped already. And we've actually almost hit Bagnaia there at the back. That was so close. But we just missed him, I think. But yeah, this has been an atrocious lap. So we go through turn 10 then. Down the hill towards turn 12, because this is turn 11 apparently, this little kink on the straight, hitting the brakes then for turn 12. The AI love to dive bomb through 13 here to this right-hander. If you leave the door open, they will go for it, which is kind of scary when it happens. Then you go on the brakes then into 14, and then this is where you can try and set up some really good drive, but I have not done that. I've done atrocious. I've now gone on the green on the exit. It's still 1.6 seconds off, so this has been an atrocious This has been probably one of the worst laps we've done in a long time, but we have got some slipstream off Bagnaia at least now as we go towards the final corner, which is another corner that I'm not a particular fan of. Well, it's actually two corners, isn't it? 16 and 17, but it is so hard to get it right. And I'm feeling like the bike is quite cumbersome here, so perhaps we actually did hit Bagnaia and get a bit of damage earlier on in the lap at the sort of the corkscrew section. So coming towards the line then, 148.2, we're definitely going to have to go for a couple more laps. So 6 tenths off in the third sector, but we did use a rewind trick, so it's Miller who is fastest, so as I predicted, it's going to be more difficult because of him, but we're getting some massive slipstream here off Bagnaia. That's actually going to really help us out as we go towards the last corner then, hitting the brakes, perhaps a touch early, but I didn't want to run as wide as we've done the previous lap, or the bike's still not turning in great, so I think we do have some sort of damage, so hopefully it won't take too long to fix if we go back to the pits. We're coming up towards the line then. What's the time going to be? 1 minute 46.8, so that is second place, 1/10 off of Jack Miller there, so we can definitely try and find that if we can go and do another run. So we need to get out of Bagnaia's way, then we're out of fuel, so we need to head back to the pits, and then we'll come back out again to try and do some more laps. Yeah, so it's going to take 3 minutes to repair that damage. So yeah, we had a bit of damage then in that session. It's annoying because sometimes it tells you you've got damage, sometimes it doesn't, so you kind of just have to feel from the bike. I mean, it felt pretty bad, so we'll go out then again, and hopefully we can try and improve that time because we're now only 4th, which isn't good enough to get through. So half a second off in the first sector, but it is a personal best. So we're now actually 5th place, 46.5 though, so it's still a very similar time, but obviously we gain a massive amount of lap time on the slipstream from Bagnaia, really. That's where we pulled all of the lap time back in that sort of last sector, so second sector we're 7 tenths off, so it's actually slower than with the damage. Only 4 tenths off in this sector though, so we have found some time, but we're not going to have the slipstream unfortunately this lap, so it's not going to be quite as fast in this last sector. So coming up towards the line, what's the time going to be? 46.5, 45 thousandths off, which is still 3rd place apparently, wow! Personal best in the first sector, only 4 tenths off. 3 tenths off in the second sector, 1 tenth off in the third sector. Up towards the line, what's the time going to be? Yes! Just at the last second, managing to go a bit quicker than Danilo Petrucci there, unfortunately for Jack Miller being knocked out then in qualifying 1, but Petrucci actually finally getting through. Bit embarrassing for him that he's been knocked out so many times, but oh, it was so close. I thought we weren't going to get through, but then that last lap we had a few tenths in pretty much all the sectors. I was 1/10 down in the sector where we were gaining massive time, so it seems like in the last sector the AI are quite weak even without the slipstream, so I think it's the setup. If you set up the left-hander onto the back straight really well, you get a really good drive, and they just don't do that, so I think that's where I was gaining the time on them, so that's really good. Where's my teammates then? So Oliveira in 8th and Lecoiner in 10th, so hopefully they can try and do a little bit better in the race. Binder in 12th place, but he's beaten Smith and Zarco at the back, 4.6 seconds off, so something was happening to Zarco in that session. And then the other KTM, top KTM except myself then, as Spagro in 7th place. So we'll head into qualifying 2 now then, and hopefully we can try and get something decent, but it was a struggle to get through this session. So then we're here then in qualifying 2, hopefully we can try and do some quick laps straight away. So we're about to start our first lap then in qualifying 2, under the MotoGP 20 sign. There's a lot of MotoGP 20 sponsorship at this track actually, so I'm guessing they're not 100% sure who is going to sponsor this GP when it goes ahead. Either that or it's an alcohol sponsor and they're not allowed to put it in the game. Although they do have Estrella Galicia, but we got very close with Maverick Vinales there on the exit of the pit lane. Similar to what happened with Bagnaia in the first session. To be honest, it's so strange that the pit lane just sort of rejoins onto the racing line. It's pretty dangerous. So it's Quartararo then, who's fastest, did the rewind trick to have a look, and he's done a 46.0 already at this point in the session. Now I'm definitely not able to do that, but this bike is not great through some of the sections. It's actually felt very good at the recent weekends, but I can feel here there is still a bit of a way to go with the frame. Obviously there's still 2 more upgrades we can put on. It was actually 4, but you just pick which one you want to install at a time. We're 9 tenths off in the second sector then. Especially lost times in that sector, which is the sector where we have been gaining a bit of time back on the AI. Hopefully we'll still gain some through this last sector because we do seem very quick there, but we had been gaining a little bit of time. Although that was compared to Ducatis, I suppose, and we've gone so wide into this last corner. This first lap has really been a throwaway. It's not even worth finishing, but we'll come up towards the line because obviously we need to start the next lap. So what's the time going to be then? 46.8, actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's still very slow compared to Quartararo. So personal best then, 4 tenths off in the first sector. So 7 tenths nearly off in the second sector. So 7 tenths off in the third sector as well. So coming up towards the line then, what's the time going to be? Actually slower, we managed to lose, well we didn't really gain anything in the last sector like we normally do. So I need to head back to the pits then and do another run, but Marquez is now on pole, so that is pretty bad. Okay, so apparently I also had damage this time. I think that must have been from when Vinales came out the pits, but the damage is so weird in this game, like you barely have to tap anyone, or I didn't even think I actually did hit Vinales. Soft tyres. We'll head out onto the track then for another run, and hopefully we can try and get a bit better than 10th place. So Marquez has now done a 45.6, so that is very, very fast. I don't think I'll be able to keep up with that. Hopefully we can try and get a little bit higher up in the order. So half a second away in the first sector, which is still pretty good because Marquez has improved the time drastically. 8 tenths off in the second sector. 1.1 off in this sector, so that's massively off, but hopefully we've got a good exit. So 46.4 then, 7 tenths off, which takes up to 7th, so not quite as bad, but I want to still start a bit better. 4 tenths off in the first sector, then personal best again. I accidentally invalidated the lap, so that's qualifying over then, it just ended it. I kind of went off the track a little bit and then it just ended the session, so I must have invalidated the lap. Ah, so frustrating. I accidentally cut the inside of the corkscrew a little bit, so that'll be why, which is fair enough, but it's a little bit frustrating. So we're starting down in 7th, which isn't the end of the world, I suppose. We have started this far down and done pretty well before, but Marquez being at the front, I just don't like that as a prospect because he can get away quite easily then. So in front of Nakagami, Rins, Petrucci, Morbidelli and Espargaro. Apparently Espargaro was 6.4 seconds off and Morbidelli was 4 seconds off, so what was going on with them I don't know. But Marquez does seem to have a little bit of extra pace over everybody, so I'm hoping Rossi and Quartararo can do something, but I feel like they won't. So let's get down to the starting grid then, and we need to try and pass some people on this first lap. So we're down here on the grid then, looking at Marc Marquez on pole position, and then Valentino Rossi second place alongside him. So Valentino, again, a pretty good qualifying, so hopefully he can try and fight with the leaders, maybe hold them up a little bit, just by battling with them, really, so that I can try and get my way through. There's my teammate Lecuona down in 20th place, so I'm hoping that he can try and get through and score some points, because obviously we do need the points in the Team's Championship against Petronas Yamaha. So we're down in 7th then, so not as great as we have been doing as of late, but I think we probably can do a little bit better, so hopefully we're able to get off to a good start and try and gain some positions. But let's get this race started then. And we need to try and be probably top 5 by the end of the first lap. So Marquez on the pole, then Rossi in second place, and then Quartararo in third, waiting for the lights to go out here. Aragon, lights out, and away we go. We've not had the best start. Once again, I can see already some people getting past us. Moving over on Nakagami a little bit, actually. So actually, no, he hasn't got past us. But Petrucci looking around the outside. Nakagami's headed up the back a little bit there, so we've lost a place to Petrucci. But Crutchlow and Petrucci are both looking for a move on Vinales. Now Marquez is already streaking away at the front. So that is not good. We're going around the outside of Petrucci then, as Crutchlow up next. Try and go around the outside of Crutchlow if we can on the power. Back down to power mode 1, so up into 6th place. So we have gained 1 position off the start there. Quartararo already in front of us. So Quartararo's actually had a terrible start. Rossi's had a pretty good one because he's still in 2nd place. But I'll be looking to pass Fabio as soon as I can. Marquez already getting a little bit away from Rossi. Quartararo's gone a bit wide on the power then. Down towards the corkscrew corner. Side by side with Quartararo. So we'll pass Quartararo up into the top 5 now then. Rossi actually looks like he's going with Marc to a certain extent, so well done Rossi, go on. We're close up to Vinales massively here. We might be able to get him actually on the flip-flop here. Through 15 on the power earlier. That Vinales, we've got the run on him. Here we go, side by side, but he's got the straight line speed advantage compared to us on the Yamaha. We've kind of moved into his line a little bit, made him back out off the move. So up into 4th place and Dovi up next. But Rossi and Marquez are clearing off. We might see a fantastic Rossi-Marquez battle here. We've not had one of those for a few years. It'd be nice to see one of those, even if it is in career mode. So through 17 then, they are again taking a bit of a different line to me, but we've had a very good first lap. I did say I wanted to be top 5, end of the first lap, we're in the top 4, that's even better. So hopefully we can try and get Dovizioso very quickly and then try and catch up to Rossi. So we're closing on Dovi up the inside to 12. Oh, we've kind of pushed him off the line, but we've managed to get the move done. So we've actually got past Dovizioso there through turn 12. That kind of came out of nowhere. So Rossi is up next then, so we're going to try and catch up to Valentino, and then we've got to try and catch up to Marquez. So Marquez 47.1 then, what we're going to do 47.4, so even with the overtakes, not too far off him. So 9 tenths to Rossi now, we are closing on him. So coming up towards the line at the end of the third lap, we've taken a massive amount of time out of Rossi. Marquez did a 46.9, so Marquez still even faster than us, even though we've caught Rossi so much. So here we go then, we've got a really good run on Valentino. Down towards the final corner in the slipstream of Rossi on the Yamaha, of course. We're going to the left-hand side of him, past him we go, up into 2nd place, and Marquez is the target. But look how far Marquez is in the lead, he's just pulling away. A signature Marquez victory, really, it looks like it's going to be in this season. Oh, Rossi back at the inside though, so Rossi not going to let us have it easily, which is not great. 46.9 then, I'm 47.2 in the slipstream of Rossi, back past Rossi then, so hopefully we could try and hunt down Marquez, but he is very, very far in front of us, of course. So Marquez really far away, 46.8, so he's just going faster and faster every lap. There's nothing I can do. So coming towards the line then, 46.5 for Marquez, so he's going so fast, nothing I could do to keep up with him. Another fastest lap, 46.2 to Marquez. So into the last corner then, I think Marquez is probably about to win because he's 7 seconds in the lead. Even I've never won by 7 seconds. So there, yeah, he's crossed the line already. My rear tyre is absolutely destroyed. Dovey behind us is catching up because he must have got past Rossi. But here we go then, second place, which is a fantastic result, but Marquez beat us. I mean, Marquez's 46.2 is ridiculous. I'm sure that's faster than pole position. Oh, actually, no, it was in the 45s of pole position, wasn't it? But that is ridiculously fast. It's so fast. Especially considering he had a medium tyre in, the same as me, and I had no tyre left at the end. But fair play to Mark, I suppose. He just got to the front and pulled away. We can't let him do that again, I suppose. But Dovizioso then ended up third, obviously not too far behind, as he managed to pass Rossi, who ended up fourth. Viñales, fifth, then Quartararo in sixth place. Seventh ended up Crutchlow, 8th for Rins, so Rins had a pretty good recovery ride. 9th for Petrucci, 10th for Miller, 11th for Morbidelli, and 12th for Alex Marquez. So Lecuona, unfortunately, just missing out on points then in 16th, and where's Oliveira? I'm guessing he wasn't in the points either, 22nd place, so not the best results then for my team, but Morbidelli down in 11th place, Quartararo in 6th, that might be enough for us to still overtake them anyway. So in the Riders' Championship then, the lead is now 41 points again, and Marquez has got 299 points, so he's almost at the 300 points barrier there, so it's a very good season, considering there's still so much left to go. I mean, don't forget, there's still a quarter of the season left, even though it seems like there's not many rounds left. There is actually still a quarter of the season, so it could all be turned on its head yet. Dovizioso 73 points back and Quartararo 98, so it really is just between me and Marquez if it's between anybody else, and I'm quite far in front of Dovizioso now. I think it is acceptable to set my sights back on Mark again now. Obviously, I had them set on Dovizioso and Quartararo because they were pretty close, but we've managed to pull out quite a few points on them over the last few races. So now I think it's definitely safe to say that Mark is the person we should be trying to beat all the time. The 41 points in 5 races, I need to take out 8 points at every race and 9 at 1 to make us joint on points. But actually, I don't think wins-wise I'll actually be able to overthrow him now because obviously another win's gone his way now. If we've got any chance at this, we need Marquez really to have a crash or something at some point in one of the weekends. Obviously, that would be the easiest way for us to gain a hefty amount of points on him. It's already happened once at Aston, so it could happen again, but it's highly unlikely because he's back on form, it seems now. But yes, we actually do move up to 4th in the Teams Championship, then ahead of Petronas and Yamaha, even though obviously my teammates not scoring any points. That's really nice to see that we're now 2 points ahead of them, so it's going to be probably a little bit of a battle between us and Petronas for the rest of the season then now. So in the Constructors' Championship then, we're now 42 points behind Honda, but we are extending our lead to Yamaha in 3rd place there, and Honda actually have hit the 300 points, so I'm guessing that 24 MotoGP Constructors World Championships is probably going to go up to 25. So then I accidentally advanced, so no sort of cutaway. But we got 2nd position. It's not the end of the world. We lost 5 points to Marquez, but we do need to start gaining back points regularly on him like we were a few races ago. Obviously, he had that really bad day in Silverstone. If he had another one of those, that would put him in big trouble. So we've got to hope. There are some good races coming up for me next. Obviously, Sepang is going to be one of the races where I think we'll win. So then Marquez winning, fair play to him, you can't complain about that. Obviously once again the top 3 on the podium, obviously Dovizioso managing to beat Rossi. So then that weekend we gained 8,950 reputation points, which takes us up to 409,800. And once again that salary, the 32,863, takes us to 603,378, so we passed the 600,000 credits barrier. And there we go then, and we've got a notification on the personal manager, a couple of them actually. So we've got a candidate available. We've got an S one, I remember that now actually from before, but I don't think I wanted them because the money wasn't so good. I definitely don't want this A plus because their money's not so good. So let's have a look at the proposals then. I'm guessing it's from our current team. Yes it is. It's got higher expectations. I can't remember actually what our like sort of bonuses were beforehand. I don't think the salary was in the millions, but it might have been. The gold bonus is definitely higher because that's 45,000. We had the 38,000 currently. So it is actually a bit of a better contract, but we'll leave it for now because I'm not sure if I'm going to stay with the team for the next season or not. Depends how the championship ends up. So we'll have a look at the R&D then. So the electronics are now done, so we can actually put more people on this frame and make it a bit quicker. So I've shifted the people around a little bit then. We've got 4 weeks left on this frame development, so that's actually not going to come in until very late on in the season. The engine, I can't believe I've still not upgraded that the whole season, but to be honest, it's not been too bad on the straights. But that, I suppose, takes us to the end of the episode then. So a bit unfortunate to lose those points to Marquez, but he was just so fast, and I didn't have the pace in qualifying. I'll be honest, I'm not great at Aragon, just the AI's race pace is a lot worse than their qualifying pace, unless you're Marquez, and then he clears off at the front. But Yeah, it's definitely still a fun race. I enjoyed carving my way through. Once we got past Rossi and I saw Marquez was still getting away, I just had to try and bring it on home, just build out a bit of a gap to Valentino and just make sure I was safe for second. Second is better than nothing, of course, even though Marquez won the race. So hopefully it'll be a close end to the season, but I hope you guys did enjoy that video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next video.